Welcome back to WaterparkRanger's Let's Play Wind Waker. Actually, I don't remember what we did last episode, so if you don't know, then go watch it yourself. Anyway, this episode we're going under the stone head on Outset Island, into this, what I would call, a dungeon. Basically, this place is long enough, I think, to be a dungeon. The Savage Labyrinth. Deep in the never-ending darkness, the way to the golden shard you seek awaits. So we're looking for a Triforce chart somewhere in this cave. This is different from all the other caves because it is basically 50 floors, though the Triforce chart is on the 30th. So you gotta get down each floor by defeating every single enemy on every single floor. That's what the Savage Labyrinth is, and it starts off with easier enemies and works its way up to tougher enemies and enemy combinations. There is a dungeon like it in Twilight Princess called the Cave of Ordeals. However, I think that this dungeon is far easier. The Cave of Ordeals is a big pain. Savage Labyrinth, not so much. With the hearts we've got and our potions, we're absolutely set. However, if you're really not that great at combat in this game, it's recommended that you get a ton of extra hearts. Definitely get the elixir soup. Just bring as much stuff as you can. But we really don't need to worry. It's not going to be tough. We've already cleared the first 2 floors, and the chart's on the 30th. Of course, there is something else on the 50th, and because it's 100%, we're going to be getting that too. So if you're playing this just normally, you don't need to go all the way down. But I think it's recommended that you do, because otherwise, you know, every time you lose, you're going to have to start from this place all over again. So if you leave at any earlier point, even just by taking an exit floor, then you're missing out on the ultimate reward. Also, I know that in Twilight Princess, the Cave of Ordeals gets tougher the second time through. If you try it again, it gets tougher the second time through. In Wind Waker, I do not believe they actually change anything about it. Pretty much it stays the same. A good thing about this dungeon, besides the fact that a lot of these enemies get pretty fun to fight later on, is that it's a great place for you to gather up some spoils if you target the enemies and use your grappling hook. Of course, I'm not doing that because I just feel like rushing past them and defeating them, and not taking too long. Because I don't want to have to speed up everything that happens here, because there's going to be some cool fights. And I'd like to mention some stuff that goes on. Although, these early ones are pretty repetitive and formulaic. You just exploit a strategy for each enemy and move on. The Master Sword, of course, makes quick work of them more than your Hero Sword could. Anything else? Oh yeah, this dungeon's also a great source of rupees. Not only can you target enemies for rupees, but on each floor, actually like every 9-ish floors, about every 9 floors there will be a break floor. On that break floor you can choose to escape with your spoils, or continue onwards. And what I mean by spoils is that, like, everything you found in the dungeon, including, there are lots of rupees on those escape floors, so you can grab the rupees and keep going onwards, or if you are really afraid that you're going to die, you can just give up and escape. But I don't think you lose all your rupees if you lose in the Savage Labyrinth. You just get kicked out of the dungeon. So it's like a very kind version of one of the dungeons from, say, like, Pikmin 2 or Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. It works a lot more like that. Only it's much more lenient, and honestly much easier. The Savage Labyrinth is not tough. Like, we haven't gotten hit, I don't think. Through all these floors, we haven't taken a hit. And although you might be noticing that the enemies are not dropping items, that's because you need to grapple everything off them. Like, you could still get hearts and rupees and crap from all these enemies. You just gotta get it with a grappling hook. Not too much harder. And I think we're on the last challenge of this first bout of enemies. Yep. A couple of moblins. So, I think, as you go through the dungeon, through about the 50 floors... Oh. No! Oh, that was sick! Man, he was about to punch us, but we parried him. Oh, okay, we took our first hit. Oh well. We were doing pretty well. We almost made it through the first bout of floors without getting hit. Each, like, group of 9 floors is supposed to, be a throwback to one of the dungeons we visited before. Like, that one was the Dragon Roost. A throwback, I guess you could say. Because it had a kind of a red magma-ish theme, the way it was lit up. And the enemies were also the kind we fought in Dragon Roost Cavern. Except for Miniblin, of course, but what are you gonna do? Maybe they were originally planning to put Miniblin in that dungeon. Or maybe there are Miniblins somewhere in Dragoner's Cavern and I just don't know how to find them. Not that I would want to. Oh man, we already took our first hit in this one? This one's got a grassy theme. So it's the Forbidden Woods themed one. It's got the Forbidden Woods enemies in it. So we already had to deal with a few P-hats there, of course. Your boomerang is a great help here. We had red choo-choos in the last one, green choo-choos in this one. I think you can start to see where the pattern is going. You're going to have to fight each dungeon's kind of choo-choo, the Savage Labyrinth. There we go. Although I don't think they have a group of floors for the Forsaken Fortress. I guess it's weird. They don't seem to put stress on Forsaken Fortress as a dungeon in the game, even though it is one. It has a dungeon map and a dungeon boss. But admittedly, it's not very long compared to the others. Although the others can be beaten quite quickly. Maybe I'll go back and look at some of my videos and see exactly how long each dungeon took. I know that each of the two temples, the Earth and the Wind Temple, took roughly the same amount of time, interestingly enough. About 1 hour apiece. Or maybe it was 45 minutes, I forget. But anyway, they were about the same length. Oh, so here we fought some green bokoblins. I know that we didn't find any in the woods, but I guess I figured that, hey, let's put them here as an upgrade. Oh, Mothulas, these are annoying. I mean, they're weak, for sure. But it's just they rush at you so quickly. I think they might be the fastest enemies in the game, just for how quick they seem to just rush at you like that. The Darknuts can run pretty quick, too, when they get mad. Oh, now we're getting combos. Yeah, that's another thing about the Savage Labyrinth. These floors will first just throw a group of similar enemies at you, and then the next few floors will be like combinations of them. Here it's a little bit more apparent than it was in the Dragon Roost bout, just cause I'm pointing it out now and I didn't then. That's all I can say. Oh, green choo-choos and bokoblins are hiding in the pots. Though they're not green, they're blue. Interesting. I guess you can't ask for too much consistency. I'm just trying to look for as many patterns here as I can. Helps pass the time, because really these enemies are nothing. Nothing at all. Because each small rest floor also can give you up to 3 hearts that will regenerate your life, so that's really helpful. Oh man, I just remembered. I might have mentioned this once before, but I did a 3-heart quest of this game once before, and just for the heck of it, I tried to run through the Savage Labyrinth with the 3 hearts, and mind you, this is using nothing in the bottles, no extra, like, upgrades, so no more than 30 arrows, 30 bombs, the standard magic meter, and I was able to get all the way to the final battle of the floor, but then I lost, so I was really annoyed at that. Plus, I didn't use, any grappling hook to steal stuff from enemies. So these winged Mothulas, it's honestly better just to dispatch them with fire arrows, is what I've realized. It kills them really quickly. So basically, that's just a great way of dealing? No, great way of dealing with them. So that was the Forbidden Woods section of the Savage Labyrinth. We're about 2/5 of the way there. 40% for you percentage people who prefer to use percentages over fractions. And look, the rupee count is stacking up quite nicely. 2 purple rupees right there. It's gonna get, this number's gonna increase the further down we go.